Hey guys, so as you saw that random alphabets was been spent and random alphabets was been picked. So let's understand how we can implement it in our web application. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm just making use of an online tool where I can write my HTML, CSS and JavaScript code. So here I have just added a div tag that is just showing an alphabet A over there, and I'm just making use of id tag so that I can just control this div tag from my JavaScript code. So here I will just initialize a variable where I'm just storing all the alphabets from A to Z. So this is the variable. So here A to Z I need to iterate and show it over here. Okay, so now over here, if I want to change this div tag by making use of this id, I can make use of document.getElement by id. So let me show you how. So here document.getElement by id I can just use. So my id is alpha, so I can just take it from here, paste it over here, something like that. Dot inner html, and I will just set it to some alphabets. Okay, so I'll just enter my name over here. So now if I run this application, so you can see it got changed after running this code. So I can just randomly pick any alphabet from this and show it over here. Okay, so let me show you. So alphabet of some index, I'm going to just make use of some index over here. So I'll just make use of index 6. So now if I run, so you can see G got picked. So similarly, if I do 16, it will just pick Q. Okay, so it will just pick the index from here. So now what I can do, I can just iterate to this loop and just change this alphabet. Okay, so for this I'm going to create a function and I will just name it as update, and I'm just calling this function by making use of set interval. Okay, so after some interval I need to repeatedly call this function. So for this I will just make use of set interval over here, and here I'm just calling my update function after every 100 milliseconds. So here let me copy this thing and paste it over here. So now I want to just change this alphabet and pass an index over here. So what I can do, I can just create a variable I, and initially I will just set it to 0, and on each iteration I will just increment this I by +1, and here I can just pass it something like I. So after every 100 milliseconds this function will be get called, and I will just increment the I by 1. So it will just iterate this array or string one by one. Okay, so let me show you. So if I run this, so you can see it is spinning now. Okay, but I want to just stop it when it reaches end of over here. Okay, so what I can do, I can just make use of if condition over here. If I is equal to, I know it is 25, so here it will start from 0 to 25, that is 26 alphabets letter. So I can just make use of alphabet dot length. Okay, so if it is equal to 25, that is length of this, I want to just reset this to 0 again, reset I to 0. Okay, so now if I run this, I will not see this message again, that is undefined. So you can see it will just repeatedly loop this list. So now I want to stop it after some duration. Okay, so what I can do, I can just loop this alphabet for 3 or 4 times, and then after looping this I can just pick a random alphabet from this. So for this what I will do, I will just create one more variable over here and name it as loop number, and let me set it to 0 again. And here inside this, after each loop I want to just increment this. Okay, so I will just loop plus I will do. So now here if loop is equal to, so let's say I want to just loop it for 2 times, and then after that I want to just pick a number or a character from the string. Okay, so here I can just pick a random character from this. So for this I'm going to make use of math.rand. So here variable random index is equal to math.floor. Okay, and math dot random into alphabet dot length. So here I'm just in multiplying with the length of this, because this random will give us the range from 0 to 1. Okay, I want to just give the range from 0 to 25. Okay, so random index will just get printed over here. Okay, picked over here, sorry. So if I do it console.log, so let's check what happens. So we'll just print this random index somewhere over here. Okay, and let me inspect console, and now if I run this, so after looping for 2 times it will just get printed over here. So let's wait. Okay, so you can see over here it is printing. So it just printed me or picked a random number from this. So now after doing this, so you can see it is not generating a number more than 25. I have just 25 numbers over here, characters over here. So now I want to just pick a random character from this by making use of this rand in. So here variable random alphabet is equal to alphabet of random index. So by doing this, I can just pick a random number and show it in this div tag. So just copy this thing, paste it over here, and random alphabet, I can just simply print it over here. Okay. So now if I do this, it will just print, but this loop will continuously run because I am just running it in an interval. So I need to figure out how I can stop this interval. So for this, I can just set this interval to a variable interval id. I can just send. Now by making use of this id, I can just stop this function, set interval function. So here I can do clear interval, okay, and just pass interval id over here. So now if I run this, so you can take, it will just spin for 2 times a to z, and it will just randomly pick a character from this. Okay, so again I will just run it. Q. Okay, so that's all for this video tutorial. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe. Proto Coders Point. Thank you.